Panic erupts when 3 masked gunmen storm a restaurant, demanding cash and jewelry, and it's all caught on surveillance cameras.
It felt like at one point that I was going to die.
All he got to do was pull that trigger, and we shot in the face.
I felt more helpless than anything.
April 23rd, 2011, Houston, Texas. It's just after 2 a.m., and hungry partiers move from the nightclubs to the 24-hour Waffle House to wind down the night.
One of the bargoers' favorite places to eat when the bars close, so we usually get pretty full.
You can tell that everybody that was at Waffle House that night had come from a club, because that's what people usually do.
Patrons have just arrived for a late-night snack when suddenly 3 men burst in with guns. Surveillance cameras record the violent ordeal as it unfolds.
We hadn't been there not even 5 minutes because we hadn't even placed our orders for drinks yet. Saw the guy run in, and that's when I noticed he was standing in front of the other guy with the gun in front of his head.
Waffle House employee Brent Bjorklund is also stunned by the brazen robbery.
When the robbers came in, my back was towards the entrance. I was making waffles at the time. I really didn't hear them. I turned to my right and saw a lady fall out of her chair. I thought she had just had too much to drink. That's when I realized what was going on. I saw 3 guys with guns, and I didn't know what to do. So to try to run, I just didn't have any earthly idea what to do.
Everybody was like paranoid. You could see everybody trying to hide underneath the table. I was trying to slide down off in my seat to get underneath the table. I couldn't go nowhere. All I could think about was this guy holding a big gun. The whole time I thought we all was gonna die.
While almost everyone tries to take cover, the cameras captured Gerald Cole, a regular at the Waffle House, making a bold move and attempting to escape.
One split second, I thought I had a chance to break and run to the door. And when I looked, there was 2 guys in masks, and one had a shotgun and one had a gun. And I broke and run toward the door, and there was another guy with a mask on it. Told me, he said, "If you move, I'll blow your brains out." I thought I was gonna die.
Instead, the gunman strikes Gerald Cole on the head, knocking him to the floor.
It hits me on the right side of my face. At one point, I just thought that my life was just over.
I personally thought that they was gonna rough him up just because he was trying to be slick and get out.
Terrified, Cole stays face down on the ground while the gunman continues to rob the other customers.
My friends that was sitting in front of me, she had hid a purse behind her back, and he saw that, and he came and snatched her purse and put it on the table and told her, "Empty out this purse." And I'm guessing she was still in shock because she was moving in slow motion, just taking it out one by one, piece by piece.
They wanted money, wallets, jewelry. He came up behind me, he patted me on my wallet. It was in my pocket of my pants. He's like, "Give me your wallet." I said, "Buddy, let me give you all the cash I got, but let me keep my wallet for my ID and my Social Security card." He's like, "Yeah, sure, keep that stuff. It's hard to get back."
They were screaming, telling the people behind the counter, you know, open up the register.
The camera shows the thieves emptying the cash register, but they have their eyes on an even bigger prize.
I didn't think anyone's life was in danger until they asked one of our waitresses to unlock our drop box under the register. No one works the night shift has the key to the drop box. And that's the only time I ever got scared for anybody, because they seemed to think someone there did have a key.
Unable to get it open, the gunmen leave without the money from the drop box, but they still escape with about $2,000 in cash.
I was still face down. It took mostly everything from everybody out of there. It felt like to me, like death. That's what it felt like to me.
After the robbers leave, one victim decides to take the law into his own hands. The surveillance footage shows the man running to his car to grab a gun. He darts across the parking lot, followed by another customer, and shoots in the direction of the fleeing robbers.
I wasn't out there to see who was shooting at who, but I know I heard commotion.
I heard gunshots outside after the robbery.
Despite the customer's effort to stop them, the 3 armed men escape. Someone in the restaurant calls the police. They arrive at the Waffle House shortly after the incident and take statements from the stunned customers.
It's not an everyday occurrence where 16 people were robbed at once.
Jeff Breeden is with the Houston Police Department and is the lead investigator on the case. He can see from the surveillance tape that the robbery is well planned.
They were very strategic in how it played out. One suspect stood by the door. The other suspect handled the kitchen area and went back to where the cooks were. And the other suspect went to the other side of the Waffle House to handle those people. Everybody had a plan.
Other than the video, the masked robbers leave little evidence for detectives to follow.
2 of the 3 had gloves on. They made it difficult for us to be able to retrieve any kind of DNA evidence simply because the fact that they just simply didn't leave any behind.
But 2 weeks after the robbery, Detective Breeden receives a call from the Harris County Police Department.
A suspect was arrested in an unrelated robbery in Harris County, and our guys obtained the initial confession. He was the individual carrying the rifle during the robbery. He gave us 2 additional names as possible suspects.
Neither suspect pans out. One of the men has an alibi, and witnesses can't identify the other suspect out of the lineup. So far, no one is charged with the Waffle House robbery, even the man who confessed.
Being that he wasn't charged in this particular case, he was charged in other cases that were much stronger, where we had a better case on him.
With the case at a standstill and with the surveillance video available to watch on YouTube, both Mitchell and Cole say they're having a difficult time putting the terrifying experience behind them.
It kind of makes you have a different perspective on life. If something happened to me, who's going to take care of my son? Nobody's going to love your child or take care of your child the way that you take care of them.
There ain't one day since that day that I go in the store to pay for gas or buy a Coke or chips or make groceries that I think someone's going to rob me.
You sit there and you watch it and you think, well, what would I do? So it makes you think,